Well, it has been a busy week for the mainstream media, from nationwide protests to that Cromnibus bill to torture reports. Here to sift through the talking heads, the political pundits, and the political jargon, RT producers Tabetha Wallace and Tyrel Ventura. Guys, thanks for being here in the D.C. studio.
Thank you.
All right, so Tabetha, you've had to venture into the no-spin zone. What have you come back with?
Well, I did, again, go into Bill O'Reilly's no-spin zone. And this week, Michele, soon to be, just to be clear, soon to be former Congresswoman, Michele Bachmann, wanted her last White House Christmas party to really be a blast. Let's take a look.
I turned to the president and I said, Mr. President, with all due respect, I'm concerned about the Iranian nuclear program, and I think it would be wise to bomb the program before they obtain a nuclear weapon, because once they obtain the weapon, the world changes. And the president smiled, and it was fairly condescending and patronizing, and said, well, it's not quite that easy, Michele, but that's okay. Like, I'm just, you know, an idiot and I don't know anything.
No comment on
What say you about that?
Well, I have to actually give Bill O'Reilly credit, because he didn't let her spin it. And I want to take a look at his response real quick.
Certainly you know that if President Obama bombed Iran, that would start World War III. The unintended consequences of a unilateral military action, certainly when there's a negotiation taking place, the whole world would turn against us.
For one thing,
Bill O'Reilly didn't go for that. Yeah. I thought he was all in favor of bombing.
I am in shock at that one, right?
Completely. And I think this is the moment where you really have to say that we need more moments like this from the media, where we say that this thing that we do here is not just an open platform for this sort of self-aggrandizing hidden as in the disguise of political analysis. What she's saying is ridiculous. And it's dangerous. Yeah. And to do it at a White House Christmas party is even just sort of rude.
Well, and again, talking about the unintended consequences of it, and for the president to say it's not as simple as just bombing this country. Yeah. I don't agree with President Obama on many things, but at least that makes sense. Yeah. Tyrel, you've come across some interesting, what you're calling hypocrisy here. What have you found?
Well, it's interesting. She was in the no-spin zone, and I was in the Sean Hannity zone. God help me. New York Governor Cuomo recently sat down with Russell Simmons and hip-hop kind of mogul Jay-Z to talk about the relationship between the black community and the New York Police Department. And Sean Hannity had a hell of a problem with that. Take a listen.
Why would the governor pick him?
Well, let's be clear. The governor spoke to a number of people.
Really?
One of them is Jay-Z. Why?
Really?
What do you mean by really?
We can't do better than the former crack dealer?
Oh, who turned his life around and who is doing a lot of great things in the community.
See, I mean, you know, I'm sorry. All you hear, Hannity, and a lot of, like, the neoconservative pundits is, why don't these people pull themselves up by their bootstraps? Why are they complaining all the time? Well, Jay-Z is someone who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and became got out of the ghetto and became an international icon, mogul, has given more to the African-American community than some municipalities, cities, and states, through employment and charity and things like that. I don't see anything wrong with the governor saying, I'm going to sit down with Russell Simmons or a Jay-Z to, hear what they feel is best for the community, being that they came from that community, got out of that community, and rose above, crime and poverty.
And to that point, have not rejected those communities either.
Exactly.
Right? They still have very strong relationships.
Exactly. And where the hypocriticalness comes in is that Hannity, will rage against someone like Jay-Z.
Right.
Jay-Z's evil, but he defends someone like Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent's okay, when Ted has a very interesting past.
Yeah, I mean, I could go into detail, but all you really have to do is sort of Google Ted Nugent draft dodger math high times, and you'll see that he has quite a past himself that is way more disturbing.
You're talking about a drug use past?
Yeah, he, in an interview with High Times in 1977, he said he got high on meth before he went to his interview for the draft.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so dodge the trap.
And again,
I think to your point, so obviously, someone's past is their past, right? That's kind of the point. And as you're bringing up, it's the hypocrisy of saying, well, because this guy agrees with me on certain issues, then I let it slide here, but I attack here.
And you see that all the time in the media.
And it's just predictable.
Yeah, and it's very predictable. And you see it all the time in the media, especially, they would rather protect their little, kind of coterie of political cats who agree with them and never question them. I mean, let's be honest, you know, you can't go after Jay-Z for selling coke in the ghetto when we've had a president who did coke, you know, at one point in time.
True.
You know, so you can't have it
you're
both
speaking
ways.
of George W. Bush.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have Jay-Z, who, you know, was hanging out with the future king and queen of England a week ago. And here's Hannity saying he's just a crack dealer.
It's again, it goes back to ratings.
Throw red meat to the audience.
Exactly.
RT producers Tabetha Wallace and Tyrel Ventura. Thanks, guys, so much.
Thank you.